Greetings, Japan fans. In today's show, we're looking at what's happening with COVID-19, stress, and our business lives. Maishu arigatou gozaimasu, and welcome back to the Leadership Japan series. I'm your host in Tokyo, Dr. Greg Story, your corporate coaching and training guy, the president of Dale Carnegie Training Japan and the best-selling author, Japan Sales Mastery and Japan Business Mastery. We are broadcasting around the world from Minato-ku in the center of Tokyo, the leadership capital of Japan. This podcast brings insights, examples, and experience about leading in Japan, and trust me, it is different here. If you have feedback on the show or have preferences about future topics, then leave us your comments. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share this podcast. Our daily lineup on iTunes: Mondays, the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show; Tuesday, the Presentation Japan series; Wednesdays, the Sales Japan series; Thursdays, the Leadership Japan series; Fridays, the Japan Business Mastery Show. Now, before we get going, today's handy Japanese phrase is for say someone's going overseas or they're going to have a holiday, going to have a great time somewhere. You can say tanoshinde, tanoshinde, tanoshinde. Have a great time. Tanoshinde, tanoshinde, tanoshinde. Hey, you're going overseas. Great. Tanoshinde, tanoshinde, tanoshinde. Wow, you're going to Great Barrier Reef, go scuba diving. That sounds awesome. Tanoshinde, tanoshinde, tanoshinde. This is episode number 349. And today we are talking about stress is mounting in Japan and what you can do about it. Prime Minister Abe's sudden announcement closing every school in the whole country from elementary level and on up created immediate panic buying of toilet paper, face masks, people stocking up on rice and other long-lasting food products. This has pushed anxiety levels much higher. Hokkaido is in lockdown, and the COVID-19 virus keeps popping up in unanticipated locations. If you are unhealthy and or over 70 years of age, then you definitely don't want to catch this virus, because the mortality rate for that grouping is relatively high. For everyone else, the health concern, while real, it isn't the most concerning issue. Business disruption impacts the livelihoods of many, many more people. The majority of companies in this country are small, medium-sized enterprises, SMEs, 70% of which don't make a profit. Yes, they arrange their accounts to run everything they can through the books to avoid paying tax, but how much cash in reserve do they have? The stressful elements are, will I get the virus? And will my sole source of salary, my company, go under when the cash runs out? The 1929 crash in New York on the stock market triggered panic with a wave of spending cuts to preserve cash, which led to less spending, which led to layoffs, which led to even less spending, which led to even more layoffs, until the world was brought to its knees. This is exactly what every leader of an SME in Japan is doing right now. They are nervous, anxious, worried. Yes, they are washing their hands and wearing a mask against the virus, but more damagingly, they are stopping all spending to preserve cash. This axing of spending has an instant impact and immediately sends out ripple effects, turning into a tsunami rapidly spreading through the economy. This builds into a major recession, on top of the minor one we have already from the US-China trade friction and the increase in the consumption tax. In your company, you expected that invoice payment, but it didn't turn up in the bank account. This keeps expanding and is happening at pace. All the employees are really worried about their salaries and their jobs if the company goes bankrupt. Everyone feels the danger and the uninvited stress which comes with that. 2 incomes was a safety net, and about 46% of married couples both work. But who looks after the kids at home? Now the schools are closed. What happens next? How long will it last? Will my family be okay? Will I lose my job? These are very stressful times for all of us, me included. What can we do about any of this? When we are stressed, there are so many serious concerns competing with each other. We can be blinded to the key issues. We are anxious and battling through a fog of stress-induced confusion most of the time. A blocker is needed to stop this mental roller coaster. We have to cut through our many concerns and work out clearly just what is the key problem. Unless we can identify the key problem, we have little hope in fixing anything, as we just go round and round, worrying ourselves into depression. This finding the key factor isn't as easy as it sounds, because there are so many factors at play. Which one is the key one? Find out more when we come back from the break. Today's show is brought to you by our public courses, but we also do custom in-house programs and do these in both Japanese and English. Now, the sponsors for today's program, 2 programs, Innovation Leadership coming up on March 27th, and Leadership Training for Managers 3-day version, May 8th, 29th and June 19th. Innovation Leadership, great little program for leaders on how to get innovation in your team, how to do it yourself. Good program, 1 day, really focuses on that. Leadership Training for Managers, this is the 3-day version. It's time-spaced learning, so you've got gaps between the sessions so you can work on the things that you've learned, put them into action, trial them, come back, talk about what happened. Leadership Training for Managers, this is the Swiss Army knife of leadership. It's got everything in that program. All the key factors you'll ever need are right there. So great program. May 8th, 29th, June 19th. Our website is full of useful resources, so go to enjapan.dalecarnegie.com. You can email me at greg.story@dalecarnegie.com. If you like learning by watching videos, then we have over 890 to 900. I think it's 9, is it 912? Maybe 915. There for you at Japan Dale Carnegie TV on YouTube. Anyway, it's huge. We release 2 TV shows every week on YouTube. The Cutting Edge Japan Business Show, that's the premier business show on Japan. That comes out every Monday, Tokyo time. And Fridays, we have the Japan Business Mastery Show. Get my book, Japan Sales Mastery. That's the Bible for selling in Japan. And my new book, How to Master Business in Japan, another bestseller on Amazon. Welcome back. The solution is to take one clear action. Start writing down all of the concerns floating around in your mind. Somehow, the act of writing helps us to refine what we are thinking. We need to get these problems out first and then get them into priority order. Is this easy? No. But it forces a higher level of thinking about what we are facing. Are there any constants, threads, themes, similarities, or specifics at play? Having sorted that prioritization out, we now have to dig a bit deeper and look at what are the causes behind these various problems. We can identify the symptoms, but what are the root causes of the problems we are suffering? This again needs some analysis, and often we're not operating with a lot of numbers we can rely on to pick out the threads of the root causes. We have to go on instinct, and this is an imperfect science. Having ascertained what is causing the problem, well, what can we do about it? Go beyond the headlines in the media and government announcements and isolate how you take individual actions for your family and your business. We start digging deep for solutions, for ideas, for innovations, which will provide us with a way forward. This is a brainstorming process, and the object should be to throw up as many ideas as possible. We do this on the basis that even a crazy impractical idea might be the trigger for a really great idea. The excellent idea may not have emerged without the stimulus of the crazy idea in the first place. Having drawn out a broad range of possibilities, we now need to whittle these down to the best ideas. We start evaluating the consequences of taking possible actions on these steps. We will distill the best solution in this way, and now we've created a roadmap for ourselves. Through action comes clarity, and the solutions flow forth. We need to get the battle plan into priority order for the execution piece. We are trained in business to execute, and once we get a plan together, we can start to move forward and get out of the hole we've been lodged in for some time. Dale Carnegie wrote a whole book on this subject called How to Stop Worrying and Start Living. He was thinking that we needed to find a way through the worry stage and get out of that hole we've dug for ourselves. If we don't do this, we will see our stress continue to mount up. Anxiety will paralyze us unless we make sure it doesn't. Once we find that way forward, we get on the front foot and we can exercise more control over our attitude and our circumstances. This means we can start living in a full and complete way because we've thrown off the yoke of stress and we are now tapping into our full potential. Today, we know the connection between stress and illness, and we can't take it lightly. The virus won't last forever, but the likelihood of our lives becoming less stressful in the future is slim. We are better off finding ways to deal with it for both today and the future. Thank you for joining the Leadership Japan series. If you found the program useful, then tell your family, friends and colleagues. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe and share this podcast. You can contact me at greg.story@dalecarnegie.com. Lots of great stuff on our website, enjapan.dalecarnegie.com. Until the next episode, take what you thought valuable, put it into action, because idea application is what makes winners winners, so be one of them. Remember, I'm your corporate coaching and training guy here in Japan, ready to help you grow your business.